Coach Sullivan here again with MGS Coaching Football. To my subscribers, I thank you. Non-subscribers, I'm really hoping to tease you into pushing that button. This past fall, I completed my 38th year coaching football, and I was a defensive coordinator, but over that time, I've also been an offensive coordinator, special teams coordinator, longtime head coach, and all of this at both the collegiate and high school levels. In this presentation, I want to talk to you about one of our what we call college, which is an empty fixed front, as you'll learn. Seahawks, which is a man pressure. Okay, so when we use the NFL nicknames like Seahawks, the coverage behind it's going to be man. Okay, so that's pretty important. So what I'm going to do over here is this isn't complicated, but it requires a little bit more explanation. I'm going to go through the key terms, and then over here I'm going to show it to you versus what we call 10 empty. So 5 wide receivers, 3 by 2. I'm going to show it to you versus empty Liz. So the 3 receivers are on our left, and then empty Rip, the 3 receivers are on our right. I'm not bringing motion or any of that stuff into this presentation. And the coverage is pretty simplistic once I give you the rules of the coverage as it relates to how we call it, okay? So over here, the first key term is the front itself. Number one, it's a fixed 6-man box left to right, okay? So you'll see that up here as well as down here. It's fixed. It's not like any other front we run, so that's why college tells our players to get up in this fixed 6-man box alignment, okay? Number 2, so then the other 5 guys, the dime, the field, corner, and the free safety all go to the Liz or Rip, which is either the 3 or the 4 receiver side. In this presentation, it's going to be the 3 receiver side. So then the other 2 defenders who are left, number 3, the whip and the boundary corner, they go opposite the Liz or Rip, or they go to the 2 receiver side, okay? So number 4, the term Seahawks, S, right? It's a safety, or what we call it's a spark plug, meaning it's a safety plug, okay? And actually it's our BMW that's been tweaked because of the front, okay? So you'll see all of that once we go through this. In order to cover people up in empty, we had to tweak the BMW to accomplish that, okay? So non-subscribers have to push that button. So then the assignments are fixed, okay, in Seahawks. So the nose goes a gap away from the call. You'll see how that plays out in both. The end, speed reads C to B. All right, boom, done, whether he's on call side or not. The stud sticks C gap, again, whether on call side or not. The mic is going to plug A gap to the call. Okay, whether he's on the call side or not, doesn't matter. He plugs A gap to the lucky Ringo, which is the call. Not subscribers. The backer drops in the coverage, and we say you fake the rush, then drop in the coverage. So if you're on the call side, fake A, you're going to have number 2. If you're opposite the call, you fake B, number 3. Okay, so we're going to show you both scenarios. Okay, even what we just tell them what's meant by the fake part of the rush. Letter F, the rover, okay, he's going to sell the speed rush, and then he's going to cover either number 3 if he's opposite the call, or number 2 if he's on the side of the call. Okay, either way, it's the nearest receiver to him. You'll see how that plays out. So that takes care of our box personnel, right? Fixed. So then from there, letter G, the whip, right? He's the safety. He's going to plug B gap. He makes the lucky Ringo call. Okay? So we're going to show you how that works. Then the free safety is going to be rotating to the middle third. Okay? So lucky will be Louie. Ringo will be Roger, and I'll show you all that in the diagram. And then the 2 corners, they got number 1. Okay, so the coverage, therefore, in number 5 is what we call jack. This is a 5-man pressure, and when we have a 5-man pressure, we use face cards. It's a freebie, non-subscribers. So jack is our 5-man pressure, man coverage, man free. Okay? And then the alignments, number 6, will be shown to you in the diagram. So why don't we begin now? I'll show you how simple this is. Okay? So first thing is, right, the fixed 6-man box left to right. End is always in a 5. Backer is on the line of scrimmage. In a B split, we just tell him, same alignment, just move up on the line of scrimmage. And he puts his toes even with the nose, so he's not offside. Nose is 1 shade to the left. Stud is 3 shade. Rover's in a 5 shade, so he's tight enough to be considered a 5 shade. He stays in a 2-point stance. He stays in a 2-point stance. And the mic is at 4, head up on the tackle. There is your fixed 6-man box, left to right. See, it's exactly the same, and it always is, versus empty. Even if there's a tight end in there, that's how they line up. Whether the tight end's on our left or right, doesn't matter. That's how they line up in college versus empty. Okay? So now, I'm just going to show you how simple this is, starting left to right, right? The end. Speed read C to B. So that means on the snap of the football, he's bursting up the field. If the offensive tackle stays square or turns away from the end, he stays in C gap, stays speed read. If the offensive tackle turns to him, he rips across his face into B gap. Okay? So depending on the tackle, that is the speed read. All right? Pretty simple. This is a Ringo. So it's a Roger. So that means, okay, opposite the call, right? Fake B, number 3. He takes 1 hard step into B, and then he drops. And he's got number 3 man. So if 3's running out, he's got to go chase him, obviously. Okay, but that's what it means. It's a Ringo, nose, A-gap opposite. Stud. Stick C. No matter what, he's got outside cage. Rover. Sell speed. You're on the call side. You got number 2. All right? Mike. It's a Ringo. Plug your A-gap. Whip. Okay, on the quarterback snap indicator. There's many when they're in the gun, so we'll just say when the quarterback does this, he's going to start the creep, then he plugs the B gap, right? So what it says here underneath, the free, the field, and it doesn't say it under the boundary, but just prior to the snap, they're going to move up, and that can vary depending on field position, everything else. I mean, we could put them in press. That's pretty much a big indicator. We want to help out. Our alignments are the skies. So just prior to the snap, they're going to move up and in. He's got number 1. Up and in. He's got number 1. Just prior to the snap, he's going to move up. And then, boop, on the snap, he's going to rotate middle third. Roger. So our reasoning for having to tweak BMW is because we got to be able to cover up 3 and 2. 2 different receivers, right? Because it's a 5 wide receiver set. Okay? So that's how we're able to accomplish a 5-man pressure with man-free coverage behind it and cover up numbers 3 and 2. All right? So then now over here, nothing changes. Speed read, C to B, okay? This is now a lucky. A-gap opposite the call. Stick C. Sell the speed. Okay, now you got number 3, okay? You're on the side of the call, so fake A, right? Sell like you're rushing A gap, and then you're going to drop, and you got number 2. Plug B stays the same. Mike, plug A gap to the call. It's a lucky. So now you're plugging opposite A gap. You're just a little bit wider than you would be normally if you were executing a max blitz, which is Mike and opposite A gap. We're not asking them to do anything they haven't done normally. There it is. Just move up prior to the snap. Rotate middle. Move in and up. Move in and up. Right? That's how we cover up number 3. That's how we cover up number 2. Again, same quandary, which is why we got to tweak BMW slightly. And there is Seahawks out of our college front versus empty. So as I said at the beginning, my subscribers say thank you, not subscribers. I'm hoping I tease you into pushing that button. Excuse me, everybody. I hope you reach out to me at CoachMJSullivan@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. I want to thank you for watching MGS Coaching Football, and I want to thank YouTube for providing this platform.